I am going to pop right into how entertainment and branding is changing. So again, we've gone from the somber tone. And last week I did show that video, which was, every COVID-19 commercial is exactly the same. And basically sentimental commercials are pretty much going out of style. So here is the latest ad that I wanted to show so you can see how some brands, in this case CVS, which is basically a medical institution that's very much mired in the zeitgeist of coronavirus and COVID. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce me. Ain't got no limitations, I just got that elevation. Do whatever I feel. I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna do what I do. Put it all together, ain't nothing better. I'm gonna do what I do. It's a real thing.
So see how the cultural narrative has just evolved so quickly since the beginning of where we were in the brand conversation. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce me.
The reason why I'm staying on this page is because this also explains how content is being produced. So no matter if you're branding your piece of content or you're branding, you're from the movie business or in television and you're trying to figure out how to produce your content, because now we're in a world where productions obviously are being halted. If you're a consumer facing product like those, the makeup or whatever they were doing on that advertisement, it's interesting to see how they have figured out, CVS, in terms of what Adage called an unconventional production process. They basically provided shooting kits to all the talent. They FedExed it to them or whatever they did so that they could film themselves at home in high quality ways. They basically created a system where they could all be together and understand how the process can happen in Zoom calls. And in fact, the managing director of the ad agency that produced it basically said it was like a matrix of production. Each piece was feeding into each piece. I thought that was pretty interesting in the way that production and marketing and advertising is changing. Again, just last week, we were talking about how every commercial had a somber tone. This didn't even mention Corona. Yes, they are at home, but they're having fun. And that seems like when I'm saying beyond Corona, which is the theme, we're moving forward in that narrative. Also, I'm seeing brands not just create things about Corona. This is McDonald's basically creating a live virtual Ramadan hourglass. Muslims right now are, experiencing Ramadan, which is their most solemn time of the year where they're fasting for a month. And they're basically creating these fun little hourglasses to basically show when it's time to eat. And then if you're in the movie business or in the content business, talk about beyond Corona, they're actually going beyond Earth. They're going beyond where we're experiencing here in terms of like galacticism or space. Natural Geographic basically just announced yesterday that which is owned by Disney Plus, by the way, is that they are going to premiere Leonardo DiCaprio's new documentary series on space. And if you missed it, Tom Cruise actually is working with Elon Musk to actually shoot a real movie in space. And I just want to harken back to the times when, the 60s, when that was a decade of true turmoil. We had the Vietnam War, we had JFK's death, assassination, we had somebody just said space is the ultimate escape to our concerns here on Earth. Exactly. I'm seeing that this is actually going to happen. Like, we're not going to have like these dreadful dramas. We're going to have, you know, what is the alternative universe? And again, I was talking about the 60s again. And in the 60s, we had JFK assassination. We had moon landings. We had Black rights movements. We had women's movements. We had gay rights movements. We had hippie movements, etc. And, you know, on television, we were watching such shows like I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. And I can't remember if it was Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie, but one of the characters who was the husband of the genie or the witch was an astronaut. So it seems like historically, in times of crisis, one way to escape is to create content that goes beyond the Earth into space. So